Hello, once again, and welcome to the Conspiracy Corner. I am Jan. Now, last time we'd hit on the Gemstone Files, which basically was JFK, because I didn't go too far into it for you. Now, today we're going to deal with his brother, now, RFK. Not the weird brainworm guy who thinks fluoride is controlling us and all that other weird shit that he does. His dad, right? I mean, you can probably tell why RFK Jr. is a bit fucked up. You know, killing bears and leaving them in Central Park and all that shit, and eating raw meat and drinking raw milk and all that. Anyway, we're going to talk about his dad today, RFK. Now, this one delves into MK Ultra, which we shall go into a lot in this series. But yeah, let's just get into this one. Bobby Kennedy had much of JFK's white-tooth handsomeness and charisma, and if anything, he was more of a political idealist. In the end, it was politics, though, that got Bobby Kennedy assassinated. After education at Harvard and Virginia University Law School, Bobby Kennedy was called to the Massachusetts bar in 1951, but his powerful and ambitious father pulled strings that ensured he was lifted almost immediately to higher things. A stint in the criminal division of the Justice Department under Senator Joe McCarthy was followed by a very high-profile role of chief counsel to the Senate Select Committee on Improper Activities in the labor or management field. Now, top of Kennedy's hit list was Jimmy Hoffa, head of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Now, the Truckers Union is America's largest and richest labour organisation, and Hoffa was Kennedy considered the chief malefactor in a nationwide conspiracy of evil. He had tied the truckers into the mob and used the union's pension fund as his private bank account. Hoffa, the belligerent poor boy made good, Kennedy, the Harvard-educated rich boy, hated each other. Now, it was an obsessive rivalry which ensued when Hoffa was waiting at the federal court to be charged with bribery and conspiracy. He delighted informing Kennedy that I could do 50 one-handed push-ups, how many can you do? RFK went home immediately and practiced until he could do 100. Now, a lull in the Kennedy-Hoffa battle occurred when RFK became campaign manager for his brother John's successful run at the White House in 1960. RFK's reward was the post of Attorney General in the new administration, where he immediately made an enemy of FBI boss J. Edgar Hoover. Now, Hoover wanted the FBI to focus exclusively on the old enemy, the communists, and Kennedy wanted to use the Bureau to smash gangland, and Hoffa in particular. Hoover and RFK developed a mutual dislike. A psycho, said Kennedy of Hoover, and that sneaky little son of a bitch, said Hoover of Kennedy. Now, their opinions were well known to each other because Hoover phone-tapped Kennedy and vice versa. To get at RFK, Hoover at some point in the early 1960s gave Hoffa the files he had created on Kennedy's indiscriminate adulterous affairs. The stratagem did no good though, and Hoffa went to the penitentiary anyway. In 1967, Hoffa told an informant that he had a contract out on RFK. Now, the Attorney General continued to make enemies. He energetically intervened in civil liberties and supported desegregation in the South, thus alienating white Dixie and ultra-racist Hoover. He banished CIA officer William Harvey after Harvey sent illegal teams to Cuba to assassinate Castro. He unsuccessfully attempted to deport mafia boss Carlos Marcello, and he angered the military-industrial complex by proposing withdrawal from the Vietnam War. He dismayed Southern California ranchers by supporting the rights of migrant workers to the extent that the ranchers, according to the FBI, put a $500,000 contract out on RFK's head. Now, after the JFK assassination at Dallas, the younger Kennedy headed for the top spot in US politics. In 1968, RFK formally announced he was standing as Democratic presidential candidate in 1968. Just after midnight on June 4th that year, after a victory in the California primary, Kennedy was shot as he walked through the kitchen area of the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. Now, it seemed like an open and shut case. Dozens of witnesses saw the assailant fire. Sirhan Sirhan was apprehended with the smoking gun in his hand, and evidence presented at Sirhan's trial showed that him to be a misfit loner who had written in a notebook found by the LAPD, "My determination to eliminate RFK is becoming more of an unshakable obsession." Now, of Jordanian descent, Sirhan had been enraged by pro-Israeli comments made by RFK. An open and shut case was followed by an open and shut trial. Sirhan admitted culpability. "I killed Robert Kennedy willfully, premeditatively, with 20 years of forethought." Convicted of first-degree murder, Sirhan was sentenced to the gas chamber, but then it was later commuted to life imprisonment. But there were holes, literally, in the prosecution case. In his exhaustive analysis of RFK murder, the Robert F. Kennedy assassination in 1991, Professor Robert Philip H. Melanson shows that at least 11 bullets were fired that night in the Ambassador kitchen. Now, Sirhan's Ivor Johnson .22 revolver, the only weapon that Sirhan had that evening, held 8 bullets. Also, coroner Thomas Noguchi recorded that the bullet which actually killed Kennedy was fired from very close, inches at most, behind his head, leaving powder residue on his body. But every witness agreed Sirhan was to the RFK's front, and no closer than 1 metre away from him, which is a yard for you Yanks. Now, Sirhan was not the only shooter on the scene, and likely not the killer. Various eyewitnesses record a woman in a polka dot dress running from the scene shouting, "We shot him! We shot him!" Now, for almost 20 years, the LAPD sat on its RFK assassination documents. While Melanson and others were finally allowed to view records, many had found to have been lost, crudely censored, or destroyed by the LAPD. Among the evidence destroyed were 2,400 photographs, including a roll of film taken of the actual shooting, 3,000 transcripts of interviews, and the door frame from the kitchen in which a number of bullets had lodged. If there was another gun, who fired it? Now, aside from the mysterious woman in the polka dot dress, the light of historical inquiry had begun to shine brighter and brighter on Thane Cesar, the ace security guard who stood directly behind RFK in the Ambassador kitchen. Now, several bystanders testified that Cesar pulled the gun during the shooting. Don Schulman, an eyewitness and journalist for KNX-TV, reported live, "The security guard hit Kennedy all 3 times. Despite being mortally wounded, RFK turned around and grabbed at Cesar and pulled off his tie." Now, that can be clearly seen on the ground next to a stricken RFK in photos. Now, was Kennedy's lunge at Cesar an attempt to get to grips with his assailant? Now, Cesar was a vociferous right-winger, lied and contradicted himself in his testimonies to the police. He declared that he sold his own .22 handgun before June the 4th, but it was subsequently proved that he had sold it afterwards. Nevertheless, the LAPD refused to investigate Cesar. Assuming a second gun did kill RFK, the role of Sirhan Sirhan requires explanation. After all, Sirhan declared on oath that he was Kennedy's killer. William Turner and John Christian in The Assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in 1978 and Philip Melanson in the RFK Assassination suggest that the Manchurian Candidate theory, that Sirhan was programmed by hypnosis to kill RFK. Now, the Manchurian Candidate theory is fantastic, but it is viable. In 1954, a CIA memo on the Artichoke Project, undertaken as part of the notorious MKUltra program, proposed using a hypno-programmed assassin to assassinate a prominent politician or, if necessary, against an American official. One leading expert, Dr. Herbert Spiegel, estimates that Sirhan is among the 10% of the population most susceptible to hypnosis. The CIA had possible motive as well as the means to kill Kennedy. On RFK's ascension to the White House, he would have discovered the agency's complicity in the killing of his brother. Or maybe the CIA wanted revenge for RFK's criticisms of the Bay of Pigs fiasco. But on 20th November 2006, BBC's Newsnight presented research by Shane O'Sullivan alleging that several CIA agents were present in the Ambassador Hotel on the night of the assassination, even though the CIA had no reason to be there. It doesn't even have domestic jurisdiction. 3 of those accused were ex-senior officers from JM Wave, the CIA's main anti-Castro station based in Miami, and included David Morales, sometime chief of operations. Now, since Sirhan Sirhan was also revealed to be a member of the Rosicrucians, it's believed that some conspiracists that the cult was behind Bobby Kennedy's offing. Now, the Manchurian Candidate theory also explains the enigmatic girl in the polka dot dress. Under hypnosis by prosecution psychiatrist Dr. Seymour Pollack, Sirhan answered the question, "Who was with you when you shot Kennedy?" And he said, "The girl, the girl." A year later, when he interviewed by NBC, Sirhan recalled having coffee with the girl immediately before the shooting. Of the shooting itself, he can't recall anything. The incident was complete blank. Now, the temptation is to conclude that the polka dot girl was Sirhan's handler, but she has never been traced. But then the LAPD has never looked for her. Now, today, Sirhan Sirhan protests his innocence, and the official version remains that he alone killed RFK. But very few believe it. So guys, what do you think about that? It's very plausible, you gotta get rid, if you've killed his brother and this guy's gonna go into the White House, he's gonna find out everything, and they've already got rid of one person. They've already got rid of one, idealist. They've got to get rid of the other because this is going to fuck up the plans. So, to be honest, I believe this, totally. I'm giving this 9 tinfoil helmets out of 10. You've got MK Ultra, which is established. This happened. They created, MK Ultra created the Unabomber. It's there. So this is very, very plausible. And, look at RFK Jr. Look how messed up he is. Of all you Americans, he's looking after your healthcare now. God bless you, all of you. But yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Also, if you want me to cover any other conspiracies or anything like that, just give me a shout. Email us on enterthedarkpodcast@gmail.com or leave notes in the comments below and just let me know. I've got piles of conspiracies I'm going to go through with you. Also, if you do want to support us, best way to do it is hit subscribe, like this video, leave a comment and share it with people. Say, hey, there's this dude doing conspiracies. Have these dickhead mates where they do true crime. Do that. Or if you do have a few spare shekels, you can throw them at us on Patreon at patreon.com/enterthedark. It's anything from $1 up to $50, but you get free stuff, and you can also join for free as well and just get all the updates. But yeah, what do you think? Let me know, please. I'm enjoying doing this, so I hope you're enjoying it too. Take care of yourself. See you soon.